Hi guys, welcome to this computer system. This is the SSD or solid state disk of ALCI. So the project title, the idea is let's create something new for ALCI. Could it have been an ArcoLinux? Yes. Could it have been a Kali? Yes. It doesn't really matter. It's all the same workflow that I'm going to explain. And what is that? I would like to have a xanmod kernel on my ISO, right? So if it would be a video of ArcoLinux or Kali or ALCI or any other spin-off that you have, that you follow with our tutorials on ArcoLinuxISO.com, it's the same thing. Now, first thing of all is I'm gonna get my Nemesis script in. So let's have a look what I have on this machine. I have a data folder, so that's my personal files. There is an ArcoLinux Nemesis here. If you git clone it, you can later on git pull it. So you get the latest code in from whatever I've changed in the past. So install core is changed, remove software is changed, and Plasma specific things have changed. If you want to really know, you know the drill, open with git ahead, make sure that of course git ahead is installed. I deleted this, and then I added this, and I did this, and I changed that, and I did this, and so on, right? Go and have a look. Now, I want to have a script. Well, what I do is I learn Arch, Wiki, tutorials, YouTube, and when all the knowledge is crystallized, is clear, it's gonna go into a script. So install, let's see where the kernel should be. If I put it somewhere else, because I believe I've hidden it a little bit, not on the AWAR packages, but in the personal packages inside settings, inside kernel. There I have the xanmod-edge kernel, install modprobe db.sh, and a create link. So let's take a look. It was a while already, and I don't think I ran it on this machine yet, so that means that I need to run that. Okay, let's install modprobe database, and then we need to enable it. User enable now modprobe and so on. That's enabled. Modprobe consult the man page, no config file found. Okay, all good. Database has been created. 101 modules are used here on this machine. And create a symlink means it works, right? It is enabled. And now means the start. Instead of enable now, you can type start modprobe db service. It's the same thing. That's done. What's in here? And what should I do with it? Let's read. We're gonna get from the AUR, the Linux xanmod-edge gz. Then we're gonna extract it, we're gonna remove it, we're gonna find microarchitecture 0, replace it with number 38. So I figured out already the architecture I have on this machine needs to be 38. I think it's called Haskell, if I remember correctly. Use Numo, yes, no. Use tracers, yes, no. Compiler GCC. Looks like it's the same. So I've made a line for if I ever wanted to change. I just change it here, but I don't change this at this particular moment in time, this script, nor do I change the compressed modules, but this is changed from no to yes. Why did I do it? I figured it out last time, right? The other videos. And then we go inside the Linux xanmod-edge folder and make a package. And we're gonna skip the package check. So if there are problems with keys, you know, ArcoLinux and keys, skip it all together, right? We trust the one that creates it. Created Linux xanmod-edge, enter. And then in the same time, we see if the script is still working today. Because last time was maybe months ago, I don't know. And in the list, here we can see number 38, Skylake is the name, Skylake. So 6th generation core. It wants to know some more questions. GCC plugins, yes, no, that's new. So yes. Generate some entry, no, new, yes. Latent entropy, I don't know. By default is capital N, so I would guess that's okay. No, and no. I'm just gonna use the enter choice. Don't recall anything having on my machine that has the name Studio Evolution, so I'm going for no. And here we need to make another choice. I have no clue. Initialize kernel stack variables the function entry. We should Google this, right? Weak, strong, weakest, very strong. Let's go for number 3, strong. Report forcefully initiated variables, yes, no. No. Enter. And we'll see. And if you want to learn more, and it's really a complex world, it is probably, you can see it somewhere. This one, config last. Look at that, right? Who has all the knowledge about how many lines? 6,700 lines, all defining how the kernel will work. After a few years of digging into the code, you probably know some parts of it. Probably not all parts. So what we're doing now is making Linux kernel for my system, my CPU, not yours, my CPU. Okay, so watch out for YouTube videos about xanmod. It's explained why I chose 38, and you have to look that up. So that's the number up here, Skylake. So later on we'll have a kernel, and it does not end there, right? What we need to do is create ourselves an ALCI. Let's move you to the second screen. Is busy for, I don't know, watch out the minutes, 30 minutes or so on this, well, 3-year-old machine. It's not that old. Does have good speed, 8 cores. Anyway, if I want to have an ALCI or a Kali or an ArcoLinux, right, then I need to make some changes. Now, maybe we should document it immediately, right? And go to Ctrl-Alt Firefox and let me log in. I'm logged in. github.com. Sign in. Voila, I'm signed in. I think with the wrong account. Sign out. Let's try to see that again. This account. All right. So, logged into ArcoLinux ISO is where we keep all the Kali stuff and also the AAI stuff. So Kali is here, all the Kali stuff, and all the ALCI stuff is not here. Where did I put it? Let me check. In the meantime, if you were wondering, it's busy. Oops, I forgot to record, to press the button again to record. In the meantime, I have a Linux xanmod. I probably have not recorded that either. I've created an ALCI ISO xanmod. I copy pasted the code from ALCI dev to xanmod, and I was comparing this one, that one with that one, which is not a good comparison, but maybe it's better to use this one. These three together. And what I changed was at the bottom, at the README already, that it's an ALCI xanmod. I changed this line. Yeah, this is better for comparison. And all the rest is the same, you see. ISO zen out. Let's call it ISO xanmod out then. Okay. ALCI repo. So that's one thing. If you want to build it, it's not ALCI ISO dev, but xanmod, like we changed it to Zen here, or to LTS. And all the rest is no difference. And save. And then here again, dev xanmod save. Alright. And we'll have to go over all the things, right? That's new code, it seems, in pacman.conf. Just a sentence. Nothing more. Not important at all. We've made some choices there, I see. And this will become our choice, right? Linux? Nah, it can't be Linux. Anything else? Control find Linux. Next. Linux headers. And at the bottom end we say, what's the name? Linux xanmod-edge. Linux xanmod-edge. Okay, Linux xanmod-edge. Save. I don't have the headers yet, right? Just the kernel. Okay, what else? Oh, the headers is just a package. Huh? This is essential. I need to have this. Let's stick around with all the rest. XFCE. Let's not complicate things too much. So small changes, small baby steps. That's why I always say, take small steps before you leap, before you jump. We do have ALCI, DWM Nemesis I see here. So we have to make choices, and I want to make a different one already, I feel. ALCI ISO mods. Okay, XFCE, that's okay for me. Session, I'm gonna go for XFCE and not for, is it XFC or XFC4? Ctrl-Alt-T, XD tells me it's XFCE. Okay. Then the Linux presets. We definitely need to figure out the differences there. Okay. So we have the xanmods, ArchISO, this one, that one, Linux preset, forget about it, right? The question is, of course, how will he name the preset? I'm not sure. Xanmod. And I don't know really if that's important, this name. But what's inside is of course important. This is what I don't know. How is he gonna call it, right? Is it gonna be xanmod? Xanmod, yeah. Or will it be xanmod-edge? We'll see. I'm also wondering the name here. So we have several things we don't know. Now what I can do to remedy that is to actually install my build already. Do this, install this Linux xanmod-edge, because if I can't make it work on this machine, if it doesn't work on this machine, nor will it work on the ALCI, right? So, okay, where's that particular build? Here. So that's the headers. Haha, cool, right? So we've got the headers already. That's interesting. So these two guys, Linux xanmod-edge tar-zst, Linux xanmod-edge headers tar-zst. These are the guys. Good. And let's show you where it's going to. I can do two things. I can put it locally on my local repo, on my local machine, or I can put it online. So you can download it as well, test it as well, build it as well. Control V. Let's see how big it is. 30 megabyte. Oof. There's a limit on GitHub. 100 megabyte, not more. 50 is gonna send a warning, but 30 megabyte is nothing, and 28 is nothing for a kernel, right? But it's a tweaked kernel. It's my kernel for my machine, right? Somebody else might have issues with this kernel. That's the truth. All right, and now we're gonna, number one, git, push everything to GitHub. Off it goes. Well, that's doing its work. Wait, let me put in my passwords here again. Well, the xanmod-edge is online. I'm guessing it's gonna call it Linux xanmod-edge. Would make sense. But what I don't know, I can't really write. So either I double click, I install it with pamac, or I install it with sudo pacman -u Linux xanmod-edge. And what is he waiting for? A number. This one. The headers I'm not interested in. Not for this computer. So on this local machine, that's what I'm going to install. What can I see later on? Later on, when I reboot, so the video is going to be cut in two, I'll know the names. I need to know the names, the exact names. Okay. Oh yeah, we can wait for rebooting. We see what it is, and it is indeed xanmod-edge and on xanmod-edge. Okay, so when I reboot later on, if I reboot later on, right, I will have the xanmod kernel. But in the meantime, I can dispense with that. What can I delete? This is my xanmod. All of this can go. The only thing I had was go mod probe my computer system. What do I need? And had this, and I had a file, and that's all it is. This is the working directory. So all of this can go. Okay, check. I was actually in Nemesis, I see. All right, that can go. This is a reference. I need to open this. I'll have this open. And here we have the Linux xanmod preset. The names are vmlinux, z, Linux, yep, xanmod, yep, edge, yep, arch ISO, initram file system Linux. Actually, what you could do is I am thinking. Yeah, it's like this, huh? there's a difference in what we do, I think, between ISOs, between ArcoLinux and Kali and ALCI. That's why I'm thinking xanmod and then etch. Correct? So the Arch ISO image, we're talking about this guy, VM Linux xanmod-edge, check. And the other guy is not a fallback, but this guy. Initram file system, Linux xanmod-edge image. Okay, save. So I've created myself a preset for the kernels. Let's clean up a little bit. Okay. This is the boot. Let's keep the boot open a little bit longer. What I also need to do is the packages. So control find xanmod. I now have the headers as well. So why not add them? If I have VirtualBox or VMware or anything that needs it, I'll have the headers around. For the rest, let's scroll up. Let's make another color. Since this is open, let's go and see what Lego blocks we want. X cursor suite, whatever, right? Chaotic mirror list, no, not gonna go for chaotic mirror list. So the repo, and the repo of chaotic, do we want it? No. ArcoLinux manual papers, whatever. ArcoLinux mirror list, yeah, okay, right. Otherwise, we don't have packages from ArcoLinux, and there's so many great packages. Okay, fine. Linux headers, base development. Xorg, neofetch, twice neofetch. The only thing that happens is you will install it twice. That's it. It's a second more. That's all it is. A second longer. Network manager, Excel, bash, SDM is there. So we don't want to have the ALCI DWM Nemesis. We need to create another one. Another ALCI Calamaris config. We can use the development version of Calamaris, which is 23, which is the same as this guy. So you can't install both, but because it's exactly the same thing. So that doesn't matter. But we do need to have in between here an ALCI Calamaris config xanmod. And what I haven't seen yet, and this is pure, not us, this is pure ArcoLinux. This is the Arch ISO list to create an ArcoLinux ISO. What I don't see is a XFCE4. Okay, goodies, it's installed. So I've decided kernel, I've decided SDM, I've decided the desktop, and then some packages. But I left a few out. xanmod-edge is there. Base development, network manager, SDM is there. I'm gonna go for the standard name, just because dev is and development is when I try to experiment with a new Calamaris. I'll first try it in dev. If that works, I'll just make copy paste basically. It's the same Calamaris, but this is the testing version. Now this one we don't need either. I probably did not make any script for it in here. No. So on ArcoLinux I've made all kind of scripts to make my life easier. Not here. Is it this way back up? I don't think so. Where was I? I wanted to do this in between here. ALCI Calamaris. I need another Calamaris for another kernel. Ah yeah, that's life. Config. Otherwise I wouldn't have called it Zen and LTS, right? And that's a specific thing for ButterFS. Config xanmod. That's the name. Control C, save, go to the internet and create yourself a new GitHub. typos allowed. And then we go back to this one. Instead of me saying git clone this, git clone that, I run number one. He's gonna git clone for me. So now we have xanmod. Maybe we should start with something LTS related. So copy paste, Control C, and then xanmod, Control V. The only difference between a xanmod and a xen should be the name, right? LTS and xen. Compare. Init CPIO Linux xen has to be xanmod-edge. Yep, no typos, save. And the other one, what do we want to unpack? Not the LTS, but xanmod-edge, and not the LTS, but xanmod-edge. And that's the difference, right? LTS or hardened or xen or xanmod-edge or any of the other kernels. There's still plenty of kernels. And then we tell them that's gonna be Mate. No, we'll see. XFC, I think, right? That we're familiar with. Xanmod kernel. We're gonna do another XFC. What else do we have? Not keen in doing GNOME or deeping or Pudgy or all the Wayland issues always. What else do we have? I don't want to do tiling with a manager. That's not easy for people either. So yeah, let's do just XFC4. So I'll always check my work again. Refresh. Linux xen, Linux xanmod-edge. Okay. Unpack file system, VM Linux xanmod-edge, and xanmod-edge. Okay, no typos. That can go online. I need to set up my credentials, I think. Although I'm not sure. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. I know what's the problem. New GitHubs, right? New GitHubs are, yeah, need to be main, not master. So copy pasting is a fun thing, but now I've broken my configuration in here. I have to tell them that this has to be github.com/ oh yeah, that's certainly not correct. The URL is totally wrong. It's gonna be this thing. Alright, go back one more. Let's reload this one. So the ALCI ISO xanmod, that's the URL. What was I working in? Not in the xanmod, but in the Calamares configuration. Yep, wrong. I was working in this one. Click, click. That's the URL. All right, save. So I shouldn't run those, or I should change it here, but I can do that later. The setup, our Git credentials for ALCI are different, of course, than the one for ArcoLinux. So I think it should be okay now. Let's see if I can push it. Okay. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. That's the script. That's interesting. But that's getting all the ALCIs. Git version 2. First commit. All right, that's going online. That should be the only thing. Oh, first commit, double F. Whatever. That's that. Then I need to build it and make a package for it. Let's maybe do that first. Package build for ALCI Calamares Zen. Control C, Control V. xanmod-edge. If I want to make one for LTS and one for Edge and one for Zen, the difference will be LTS and Zen, right? Compare. The middle is the correct one. It's not going to be Zen. It's going to be xanmod-edge. This is the correct month. Nope, not correct month. 0, 1. Yeah, we can add that there are problems with conflicts, that it will conflict with this or that, but that's not important at all. That's fine-tuning. No, looking good. And now we save. Let me try to build it. Make package. Error, not found. ALCI, it's double. ArcoLinux Calamares installer, ALCI Calamares config xanmod not found. It's not double. Okay. Package build is ArcoLinux Calamares installer. ArcoLinux Calamares installer. ALCI Calamares config etch. You see it? Settings. Etch. Rename. Now it's called Edge. I need to check my own documents here. The ALCI Calamares were in the package build. ALCI Calamares config xanmod. Ah, yeah. So Edge. I'm gonna change there as well. Maybe we'll do other xanmods in the future, right? So this is the Edge. Save. Quit. And let's test it. Git test. Nothing to do. Now we go to the package build. xanmod-edge is the name. Package build. xanmod-edge is the name. And let's go for it. Okay. So these guys, bye. That guy, cut to the repo, ALCI repo, up and up. We've got ourselves an extra package. We're gonna put it online. You remember, these things take time. You want to build immediately, but that's not how GitHub wants it. So you just have wait a few minutes until the new thing comes in. So that's the name. Come on. That's the name I want to have. Control C. Super Shift. Control Shift C. Huh? Do we still have it open? No, we don't. So if you want to build it, it's gonna be here. We need to have the package. Do we include the package? Ah, yes, we include the package. And what is it called? It's xanmod-edge, right? ALCI config edge. Save. and at the bottom edge and edge headers. Okay, I think we have it. We can have another look at the choices. So if we have these two guys, Xen and xanmod, what are the differences? Yeah, let's have a look. So we have a xanmod, here is a Xen preset, there is a Linux xanmod-edge preset. I have to look at that. How to log in is cinnamon with Xen, xfce with xanmod. Let it dangle, right? Who cares? Dangle along. Here we have the repos. Here we don't in the Xen. That's okay, it's choices. Aha, we have the chaotic AOR. We told them we're not going to do the chaotic AOR, so by chaotic AOR, by chaotic AOR, and that's it. I think so. Well, if we start building, it will tell you if you've got something. That's for sure. Save, so that's the pacman.conf in there, which is in etc. And what's the difference here? Aha. Instead of Xen, it's going to be xanmod-edge. Let's start copy pasting. Control C, and instead of that, it's going to be xanmod-edge. Check. Next line. xanmod-edge. xanmod-edge. Save. You see, it takes a while before everything is fixed. It's not that simple. Or just add it to the list and whatever. No, not gonna work like that. xanmod-edge. And here too, we have a Xen. That's one. That's another. That's another. That's another. Other. Ah, there. Don't think I missed one. Okay, save. And this guy. Save. Packages. Ooh, fine. Broadcom WL. Fine. Here we have a xanmod-edge. I can already start adding the code here and say, nope, I'm not going to use that one. Save. Grub is here, but I guess grub is somewhere else as well. Why is grub there? I think it's a dependency anyway. It's there anyway, but okay. Just for visual aspect, maybe it's not bad that we see the word grab. Okay, neofetch, yes, no. Sure, why not? Get neofetch in. But we did that, yeah, okay, got it. So I'll delete neofetch here then. And also in this guy. Goodies. Like so. All right, decisions on the fly, make them safe. Pacman.conf, here we decide to have ArcoLinux, there we don't have it. No chaotic AOR on this one. So I don't need to include the packages, nor do we need to include it in Pacman. And it's there, right? It's just stuck away. The difference here is xanmod out with capital letters there too. And that's it. Oh, what happened? We'll see. Build local out. Okay, xanmod out. That's all it is. Okay. And now we're at the README. I think we could give it a go. We have not pushed this yet, but we've built the configuration of Calamares. We put it online, it's on repo. We have this one ready. Installation script is here. Let's see if we forgot anything. Oh. In the corner. Let's see, ALCI, Calamares 3.2, and the rest we can't see. Calamares, xanmod-edge. Whoa. Okay, it's installing. Now I need to know the references. I want to know the numbers. So we've made an ALCI. Where are the ALCIs? Where? Here they are. ALCI Calamares config, xanmod-edge, check. ALCI Calamares 52. Actually, we're in 53 on Calamares. Not that there's so much difference, but okay. We could update the Calamares installer. But that's maybe for later then. Eh? We're building already. I am thinking, did I forget something? And while you're waiting, that's what I do. While you're waiting, you do another comparison. You take this one with this one and that one, and you compare. Totally different comparison. And then you see, okay, the difference is the xanmod-edge preset. Yeah, we wanted to see if that was an issue. Forgot about that. How to log in. Which do you want as desktop? Let it dangle, right? All these yellow things. And pacman.conf decisions. Which am I? I'm in the middle. So the middle says, let's get ArcoLinux. Let's get multilib from ArcoLinux. Let's not get chaotic. Okay. And here, xanmod-edge, no typos, Linux xanmod-edge. So the difference is here the Linux kernel, the normal Linux kernel, the Xen kernel, and the xanmod kernel. Next line will be correct as well. Next line will be correct as well. Edge. Okay. Until now, I don't see any mistakes. And here are some choices. TKMS, Linux is out. ALCI, our proper, our own DWM, right, is out, and we're using XFC rather than our DWM. We have now a xanmod. We can copy paste this one already to where it's supposed to be, but it's not going to be used. That makes it easier to compare. That's all. So if you do a refresh, you'll see this. Oh yeah, true. Alphabetically, it has to be in front of the other one. X, Y, Z. Save. grub. Let's put grub everywhere. I think it's a dependency of one of the packages, but okay. Like I said, it's 1 second more or some, not that much. It will just reinstall the package again. A space, and your fetch is somewhere else. New fetch is somewhere else. Where was new fetch then? Control find. There he was. Control Z is an interesting thing because I'm wondering. Okay, new fetch was not in. So new fetch is not in. Still the same. Save, save, save. Or quit like this. Pacman.conf. It's probably built already, but we're working, right? No, it's not built. Now we keep on working. So ArcoLinux repo is there. No chaotic and all the rest. Multilib is not present here. Did I not have Pacman here as present? Multilib present. So on the future system, this is the Pacman.conf for the future system. I think it makes sense to have it here as well then. Save. So that's different, but I don't think any packages are now coming from Multilib, right? Otherwise we would have seen an error. We would have said, hey, you want to install a package and you don't have the repo for it. But okay, choices. Okay, and then this is the ISO xanmod folder. Maybe the readme that something is forgotten. Yes. Isn't it etch? It's supposed to be. github.com ALCI xanmod-edge. Voila, and we found an error. xanmod-edge as well. I wonder. Did we call it xanmod-edge? Save. Yeah. Maybe we should, right? If we make another xanmod version. Maybe we should. But okay, it's done. Now we can change it. xanmod-edge. Save. So next time around it will have the folder ALCI ISO xanmod-edge out. That's all it is. A new folder. Now it's in ALCI xanmod out. So that's an easy one. If we want to test later on, ALCI xanmod, just change it now for fun to edge out. And we do have something in there. Control find Linux, the keyring, ArcoLinux keyring, mirror list, find. Linux is there, firmware is there, xanmod-edge is there, but the rest is not there. There's no Linux LTS. Ooh, this is exciting. So, Super F7, templates, clone, ALCI, and then xanmod, all capital letters, all capital letters, edge. And then we use the optical drive, choose a disk file, Eric, xanmod-edge, this one. Of course it's called ArcoLinux, right? We want to keep as close to Arch as possible. That is the ALCI motto. And even the look and all that, right? It's pure Arch. We just built pure Arch with some changes. We do have a problem. I don't know we have to try again because it was a bit quick. Let's see. E. No. Tab. Boot me via Linux xanmod-edge, arch base directory, arch cow space, etc. and Linux RAM xanmod-edge image. Looks okay. And what does he say? All kind of errors. We can't go up. Failed to mount, unknown file system. USB products. Not much to read, right? Not much to read. How should we approach this problem? Where am I at this point in time? Root FS. Never seen this, so this is new. New. CD, etc. Okay. CD. Whoa, there we go again. Azerty. ls. What did we forget? Let's do a Control R. Famous Linux xanmod-edge, arch, ISO label. Did we forget the control? Let's see. Remember I said something about the file there. The file where we change. Hey, xanmod is not in here yet. Oh yeah, it's only the out files that we have here. Control H. So that's what we're missing here. xanmod-edge. What I'm thinking was, at some point in time, the LTS, the kernel, and the xanmod have to do something. So we have a Linux LTS, a Linux xanmod-edge. Boot. Linux xanmod-edge. Okay. Yeah, I have an idea what we can do. So that looks good. But when do we use the file there? What was I thinking? Ah yeah. So you go to the xanmod-edge, you go to the ISO, you click it. You have this. Go to Arch. We boot up with this. That's still there. Okay. What was it again? This is Linux. This is EFI. And that was BIOS. And we're now in BIOS. We're telling him to boot up arch boot x86-64. We tell them to boot up with arch boot x64 VM Linux xanmod-edge. Correct. And init RAM file system Linux xanmod-edge. So that is correct. And we boot up. Let me see this. It's just too fast. What if I change this to EFI and start? Then I boot up with something else, right? I boot up with the other lines, the other text, and let's see if that's correct. Linux xanmod-edge, escape, enter. It's a little bit more to read. That's already an advantage. Unknown file system ISO 9660 failed to mount, failed back to interactive prompt, falling back to prompt. Write protected to kernel, read only data. Oops. What we did do is install a xanmod kernel on my machine. So I'm gonna reboot and cut the video in two. Yeah. What I'm gonna do first, this xanmod thing, this VirtualBox thing, we need to make sure that sudo pacman -remove VirtualBox. Okay, host, it has the host modules arch. So when I boot up again, it will be not working again. So VirtualBox, whoa, yeah, all of it gone. Because I need another package. I need a DKMS package, because later on, I will have another kernel. Sudo pacman -s VirtualBox again. That's okay, but the VirtualBox headers, no, host DKMS. That's what I want. Okay, check. And now it's gonna look around and say, oh, you seem to have another kernel. I hope. All right, stopping the video here and let's reboot.